So there are some things, some basic things that we can start asking from the very beginning, and we understand about the importance of communities, and this is the core of your idea, like Alex and team. Uh, Actually, I want to gather people. I want to help them to socialize. I want to help people alike, people who like anime, to get together. Um, and I think about doing that through an app. There are some aspects of it that I believe we can explore, like for example, if it's a dating app, if it's not, if it's uh, just getting some ideas, some recommendations. So there are variances there, but my first provocation is that what is missing today from current solutions that these people, the anime or otaku community, they have problems in getting. So, and just to summarize my provocation to all of you, all of us, which is we want to gather people, we want to make them to socialize, to get together, like-minded individuals. Awesome. That's a basic human need. But we already know, and we cannot neglect that there are some tools and some platforms that we can use today. So Discord is one of them. We can get Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. We can get uh, many different ways of getting these people together. So why aren't these current ways working for this specific audience?
Yeah, I guess in my opinion, I just think that there's no place that's like specifically dedicated to this sort of thing, and I think with our the younger generation, they tend to gravitate more to the whole dating app thing and like meeting people online. So having some place that's like specifically meant for that would probably be a good idea. I know Days saw a few platforms are trying to do something like we're doing, but I feel like delivering a better user experience and UI would be pretty much get us to the top. And yeah, I know people use Discord and people use Facebook groups, but I feel like that's just not really meant as a way to like a long term connection, but more like just like a idle chatter about something that everybody has and like like interest. So like they see a meme they like it's like this like it. So they just want to get like that sort of attention on their feed rather than really meet someone or really connect to someone. I don't think that's Discord or Facebook groups really fit that use case.
Okay. So I would in so we can get or we can be a little bit more closer to success and specifically to traction, because the moment that you launch the app, we want people to join it. We want people to consider it a no-brainer that says, hey, this is something different. This something has what I need and what I was craving about for a long time. And I like when you say, okay, Alex, I believe that Facebook and Discord, they are not meant for the long-term connection. I found it interesting, but it's important that we recognize uh, why exactly or what parts of it don't fit into this audience. And like Alex, they don't use it. For example, if we could, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper into the provocation. Like, if we built a community, dedicated community, probably there are many, but let's suppose we are creating right now a community in Facebook or Discord, considering this exact same goal. Like, you know what, here it's a community on Discord and we are gathering people in this group. We want to make people to get together, to socialize. Somehow we are creating an app because we believe this is not going to work. So rephrasing my question is that why wouldn't a community work for them? What would make them not join or not gather in the way that we want them to gather?
Hmm. I don't know. I think eliciting comfort is a big deal. Some place where they feel like they can be themselves, they can be open, and some place where they can be comfortable and open. I think that's a very big part of it. Like I said, Discord is really huge. There's a lot of really big anime discords with like uh, 500,000 members and such. But
Mm,
they're right there just to like talk about upcoming animes and just kind of just like talk to each other kind of deal. So yeah, I think Discord does a really good job about making them comfortable in that sort of environment. But if I had to think about things that would like kind of turn them away, is just being a little bit too maybe corny would be the word that I would use. Just like trying too hard to appeal to them. It just has to be something else that comes natural to them. So
awesome.
yeah,
Awesome. Great. So that's exactly what we need to explore the most. Like, okay, we have solutions there, but we are building something innovative and new. And it's innovative not just because it's an app, but actually because we are making them, and I love the words that you used, Herbert, which is, Alex, we would like to build a place that they can be themselves, that they can be comfortable and open. And you mentioned something important as well, Herbert, which is, Discord is huge. The anime community has 500,000 members. And what I'm reading, and I'm just trying to drive our thoughts, because what I'm reading from your last speech is that it's impossible to be comfortable, at least for this audience, when you have a huge place with many many people, and the bigger it gets, the less comfortable I become.
right.
So when you think of, sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, and again, I'm just thinking out loud so we can work from there. But if we go through or from this assumption, you're just saying, hey, too big to be comfortable. That would be the way that I would summarize. Hey, the current solutions, they are too big to be comfortable. So I'm creating something that it's going to against this principle of this huge and vast place, and I want to build something cozier. I want to build something that is more intimate, let's suppose.
Right,
And the point is that this is an assumption. That's the first part we need to recognize. So, Alex, from the moment that we create something that is cozier and is more personal and intimate, these people will come and they will stay here. They will connect. This is an assumption. And that's always my recommendation. Like when we are building an app, it's important that we start envisioning ways on how we can validate the riskiest assumptions of our ideas. That means, and this is definitely one of the riskiest assumptions. Like, okay, we are going to build this app. We still, maybe we don't have the perfect idea about the features, etc., but we are going to build something that is going to be cozier, and they will be here. Hmm. So if we fail in this assumption, we fail in everything. We need to go back to our lab and rethink. I would start considering ways of talking with these people, exploring these people, um, and we can also think about, we can talk a little bit more about that too, but exploring the current groups in Facebook, in Discord, in which these people are interacting or not interacting at all.
Mm,
So we can start perceiving if our understanding about their lack of comfort or their inaction is because really they don't feel well, they don't feel comfortable at all. So I'm just provoking again, and that's definitely my job, like provoking us so we can get the best results. But what you're saying is related to that, right? Your assumption is that if we build something more like intimate, friendly, comfortable, they will feel more open to share. Does that make sense?
right, yeah. And I agree with their idea of reaching out to people in the Discord channels and Facebook groups. And that's something I've tried, but usually you have to speak to the moderators, the admins. Like we made a type form survey to kind of gather data and validate our assumptions. And they have like pretty strict anti-promotional rules. So I would
Mhm.
like post a survey there, and it would get taken down. Talk to the mods or the admins, and then they would say, "Yeah, I mean, you have to pay to advertise, and we don't allow that kind of thing here." So I was just wondering if it's. I think it would be valuable just to like still, even if it's paid advertisement. Yeah, I think that kind of getting our assumptions validated in front of a larger audience would be kind of worth the cost, in my opinion. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. Just we have a decent amount of responses thanks to the team, and uh, I don't think it's really a large enough sample size to say that the assumptions are validated. And yeah, it's kind of just a question for where we go from here.
Okay, so there's definitely one important point when we are still building an app and we are trying to validate the initial assumptions. And that's what outlines the difference between the what we have in terms of surveys and what we have in terms of customer interviews. So the the most the most promising productive effort in the times that we are creating things is talking with customers, talking with real people for some minutes and understanding what their challenges, what their context is, so we can understand them in depth instead of reaching a huge amount of people. The point is that we want to understand how they act and what exactly they face in terms of challenges with the current ways of communicating, because we want to incorporate that into our product development. And that means talking with Peter, Rachel, uh, and individuals from the community to understand how they interact with others. And for example, do you used to, and these are questions that you can make during customer interviews that may reveal great insights for your product, like how is your interaction with other members from the community? From this answer, and that's why I say customer interviews, Alex, again, we have service, we can do service, yes, but it's impossible. Parts of your, or many parts of your initial insights are very hard, and some of them you cannot get from a massive effort of some direct questions. So what I mean is that this first effort to talk with people, real people, um, is extremely valuable. So you can ask questions such as, "How do you interact with the community?" "Oh, you know what? I don't like posting a lot." "Oh, really? Why not?" "I don't know." Example, of course, that's an example. "I don't know. I feel weird. I don't want people to laugh at me." "Oh, and why people would laugh at you?" "Oh, because maybe I don't know exactly the terms." So people might be concerned about not showing expertise in the topic. That's one thing. That's one insight that can come up from customer interviews. Or maybe, yes, I post a lot, but people don't interact. So I started doing less and less. Okay, this guy specifically doesn't have problem in posting, but his motivation is connected with other people's responses. So in your product, even if you create a cozier environment, it's important that you start incorporating the insights coming from your conversations, your interviews with members from the community. And these kind of responses are definitely very hard to get from closed questions, yes or no questions, which generally is the case of service, which have a different perspective. So my question to you is, first, if you've considered talking with members with the community, if you have already done that, this effort, um, what are your thoughts and your experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in contact with a few people in Discord about it, and the general perception of it is pretty good. But I don't know. I feel like maybe just like having actual customers, like people who like, use the app, and then soliciting that user base would be a better way to go about it. So which would mean just going straight into development and launch, and then after the launch, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't, and pivoting and changing things accordingly. But yeah, as it is right now, it's kind of hard to go one by one and just DM people on Discord or Facebook and uh, get their insights on like would you use this app? Would this be a comfortable platform for you? Would you use it? Um, yeah, doing that at a one by one basis is a bit difficult. So I think it would be easier to just like build the app, kind of get some customers in, and do some analytics on like what features people are using, what features people aren't using, and just like using that experience to even get them to talk to us about how to make it better and how to improve the platform. That would be my way of going about it.
Yeah, perfect. I love the discussion because these simply are different ways of validating things, right? We can do customer interviews, so we can generate insights and start getting a better perspective of what may work, and we can build the app, the MVP, to validate the assumptions that we have.
Right.
There's no sin in doing that, as long as we understand that, and I think you do understand, but just emphasizing the concept that it's an MVP and we are validating things. Um, okay, so what's the point? The point is that we definitely want to do and to go into the direction that you have highlighted at the end of your speech, which is uh, checking the metrics. So we need to understand. We are going to build the app. I still don't know, Alex, what the metrics, the numbers will be. Users, yes, but it's important that while developing the app, we save some planning to consider what are the metrics that will define if you validated your assumptions or not. Like, okay, the number of users, yeah. Their engagement, yes. Let's consider also what engagement is. Is it posting? Is it commenting? Is it both? Um, it's important, of course, that we keep at the core of this MVP the core of your hypothesis. And that means, let me just make it in practical terms, which is we discuss right now, and maybe we have other perspectives, but we brought the comfort, the cozier atmosphere, the engagement or the lack of engagement, because today's solutions, they are huge. So if this is the core of your hypothesis about why users will join, we need to make the MVP around it. That means we need to build something, a product that reflects this atmosphere, and we should think hard about what exactly would build an atmosphere like that. Cozier is definitely a uh, subjective concept. Oh, what is cozier for me is not for you, is not for Eric, is not for Marco. So we need to understand what is more personal, intimate atmosphere that you believe is going to bring users. What what exactly needs to compose it? For example, we cannot have, or Alex, it's going to be composed by channels. And what I mean by channels is that in each channel, in each space, so we can preserve the cozier atmosphere. In each space, we will only allow 10 people, 15 people. Otherwise, if we don't define these rules from the very beginning, we will have a room with 500,000 people, and we are going to go back to what we say the problem is today. So, in summary, the MVP, the minimum viable product, needs to reflect the core of your current hypothesis about what is going to produce the traction. Is it clear?
Yes.
Cool. So that's my next advice. So you told me, Alex, okay, I understand the importance of customer interviews, but I prefer validating my hypothesis, my idea, by building an MVP. Okay, cool. That's great. So the next advice is this one. So when thinking about the features of your MVP, and this is a very, very valuable discussion, which is first, be sure that your MVP has the features that will reflect your idea about it. Cozier environment, Alex, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, what are the features that are necessary for you to have this cozier environment? They are rules, they are buttons, they are links, they are connections. What will make this cozier environment? And second, that's as important as the first one. You shouldn't, or you should avoid the most possible for the MVP, and this is a very, very common mistake which may ruin the idea of adding too many or too many additional features that are not strongly related with your core value proposition. That means you will feel tempted to say, if you have a community, you need to have a chat. If you have a chat, you need to have a way of them to exchange files. If they exchange files, you need to do this and this and that, and that's it. An app about everything. So, for the sake of our sanity and for the sake of the clarity of the MVP for these people, we want to make sure that we are building something that reflects so precisely the value that we want to add to their lives, that once we say, hey, John, you're an anime fan or participant of the community. I have this app that does this for you. It has to be so clear and so enticing for John that he wouldn't even mind to get some time to start using it. If we are not clear and if we are not enticing, not and, or if we are not clear or we are not enticing, John will say, okay, I'll just finish some things and I can get back to it later. And the later never comes. John has many things to do and he will forget. So we want John, Mary, and any other one to immediately say, "Hey, oh, that's good. I want that. I want to register right now," and that's it. Your thoughts?
Right.
What do you think, Herbert?
Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much the direction we should go. Building out the MVP and validating our assumptions. Just analytics on how often people use the app. How many likes they're doing, how many messages are exchanged through conversations. Things like that can kind of give us an insight on how viable the product is among the community. And I think that's pretty much the way forward, to kind of just build it and kind of use influencers or large groups and such to kind of get the user base in, and maybe do a bit of advertisement and marketing to kind of get an initial user base. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would go about it from here.
One question. When you look to Discord communities, Facebook groups, and whatever the solutions are today,
Hmm.
what makes you see that they don't feel comfortable about using it? What do you consider as evidence? If you showed me right now, hey Alex, come here. This is a Discord group related to anime, and but you can see that it's not working because
Um, that answer, Dais is the one that has been doing that, so she has a better insight. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Can you
so that
hear me?
yeah.
yes, yes.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I've been doing some research, and I've been getting into these groups, Facebook anime groups, some communities that is called Amino, also like dating sites that they're for anime enthusiasts that already exist. And I've been interacting with the people there, with the users. I've been interacting as a user, also as a researcher. And yeah, um, what Herbert is saying is true about making this is not comfortable because it's too big, and also there are like many hostile behaviors
Hmm.
in the community. I mean, you would think that because it's people that have the same interest and want to get together because they are like alike, but it's not like that. I don't know why, but they are not that friendly. Actually, if you say something or comment something, there's usually like some kind of um, you know uh, bad comments about what you say, or ignoring you, or it's like it's actually a problem there. So, and I've been talking with these users, and they say that they don't feel safe, mostly women, and with this app, I think that what we would like to do is to attract women users because there is no many women users in the anime community. So yeah, that's what I've been discovering by my with my interaction. I don't know if you have another question.
Um, Amazing, amazing. That's these are the points that we exactly the points that I would like to illustrate, and Dais has mentioned many important things. So, for example, Dais said that they are very aggressive. They are very hostile. So that means this behavior shows that things are not working to create this comfort, this openness. So this kind of evidence, this is what I would I would include in your metrics. For example, how many hostile comments you have, or how many complaints about hostile comments you had, or how many women, or what's the percentage of women versus men. Um, so the elements that Dais brought that show that current communities or solutions are not working, this should be also at your core metrics. And this will also show you that you are being able to create that environment. Because maybe people are getting there, people are just joining. They like testing new apps. And okay, new app, let's go. But if you are not able to get them to a better atmosphere by having more women, by making them feel safe, by having less hostile comments, these are metrics that you can measure, you're going to eventually fail. People will say, okay, I joined it, but you know what? And again, we are going to get to this big group or small groups that are hostile, that don't have women, and women don't feel safe. So that's my point about the things that are not working today should work in your app. The metrics that we are able to measure today that are not working for other platforms should work and should be measured for your product.
Right, and it's totally possible to do that. Like we already have a reporting system in place, so it's pretty easy to just like query how many reports have been made and the reason for the report, whether it's inappropriate behavior or spam or other reasons like that. So uh, yeah, there's definitely ways to track those metrics and kind of make sure, and especially the gender ratio is something that we should track very closely.
Exactly. And that will reflect, at least if your process, if your logic and your hypothesis is right in terms of platform structure. So that's my point. Focusing and measuring, and have some time planning. What are the metrics that will reflect the success of your platform?
Right.
So what else? What else is or has been part of your discussions as a team,
Uh,
Herbert and team as well?
yeah. Well, so my main concern is that people actually get to use the app. So that's the main issue. People can be like not honest. Like they it how it's happened. Like they think it is cool, but they actually don't use the app, and because we are not actually solving something that it's their problem. So there was a really um, good question in the surveys. Like we asked, what kind of things you wanted in anime app, just to be white, not bias um, their answer by well, and there are the most voted thing was anime recommendations about the anime community, and the other thing was it was like 88% of the people wanted that, and like least people wanted some other things. But my question is, okay, well, we can build the Tinder app of anime focused, and we can go from there. But my concern is, okay, we might have to invest because the most user base we have, the better. So we might want to invest a lot of money into advertising and that kind of stuff. But my concern is that, okay, maybe it is like 10% of the budget goes into development and like 80% goes into advertisement, and we have to spend that amount of money into actually validate something like that because it needs a huge user base to be useful for the people, because that's what they found that uh, these dating app communities, they are filled with men, and it is not attractive for men, neither for women, because they get harassed. So my concern was, okay, we really need more women, but for this kind of app, so it is attractive for men. So, but the my concern is that, okay, we might need to spend a lot of money into advertising, and but I feel that that is a really risky move, to make a huge campaign, huge advertising, before we validate that people actually want it, use it. So, because it's like a massive online video game. You need to get a lot, like thousands, maybe millions of use players to actually make it something enjoyable. But we are really new, so we do that movement. We are going to risk a lot of money into advertisement. So my idea and what they also thought, okay, maybe we can make something like something useful for the people and start slowly incrementing the user base, but in a more organic way. In a more organic way is just to not spend a huge amount of money into advertisement to gather user base. So we build something that people actually enjoy, people actually use, because that's the main issue always. We build something really cool, but people are not going to use it because I don't want to use it because I already have Discord. I don't want to use it because I already have my friends on WhatsApp. I don't want to use it because I already have my own thing. What are you offering me? So I move, because that's always the same thing. Not only with anime dating app, not only with we are also building AIDA. Have always that thing. They already have their infrastructure. They have already their you know wasted the things. So why move? Yeah, that's actually that I also say. Why should I change banks? I'm feeling really comfortable with my bank. I don't want to spend more time into something that I'm not sure if it is going to fit me. But if they offer me something that is attractive to me, like higher interest rates, or speaking about banks, or their credit card give me points to travel, or something that is actually interesting for me, I consider moving. So my idea is, okay, maybe we should actually start building something that is actually useful for the people and is attractive to the people. So we start gathering a slowly high user base, but in a more organic way. So we don't make risky moves like spending, I don't know, $10,000 on a huge marketing campaign, and at the end of the day having a lot, just like 50 um, daily users, and decreasing one user, because every day, so next day is 49, next day, and after 1 week is, I don't know, 40 online, because I see that happens all the time. So that's my concern to uh, huge marketing campaign, because the app is not going to be attractive into um, we are not sure. We are not sure. And if we kind of validate with that path, it's a risky move. So so my thought was, okay, maybe we can build something that they actually like, and later we can introduce. Okay, now we have a huge user base. Like, um, we can start adding that feature and monetize on different ways, um, and create like a something that people actually wants, and they actually move from Discord, from their Discord server into this app, from their Reddit community to this app, because we offer cool things. So that's my thought. And I don't know what you guys think, Herbert and Alexander, about this thought. Can you give us more, well, specifically you, Alexander, because you have the experience, what do you think about this?
Herbert, do you want to speak first?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, for me, I think it's really hard to know what people want without, doing it first. Sometimes people don't know what they want until they get it, and then they like it or they don't like it. So it's kind of a risk that you have to take. Uh, right now, I can't really see any product, like if we were to build something for anime recommendations, just specifically. And there's already a lot of different places to do that. I mean, Discord handles that pretty well. Reddit handles that pretty well. Facebook groups handle that pretty well. So I don't really feel like that's a huge value proposition, just to build something small like that, just for the specific use case of gathering users. So for me, I think just going with the MVP and doing what we have to do is just like smartly, not even doing a huge marketing campaign, but just yeah, picking and choosing the right spots where the users we want are, and just trying to get them into the app would be the best way to go forward, in my opinion. So
Yeah, definitely the idea is not to do a huge marketing campaign, right? So that's the first point, and we all agree on that. This is Eric's concern, and Herbert just emphasized that. So we are validating things. We are validating assumptions, and again, the fastest, the cheapest we can do that. That's our idea. So, it's a huge amount of money for a huge marketing campaign. Wait, something is not, it's not going right. It's important, and that's the part that probably is missing because we discussed so far, and Herbert brought the concept of or of a two. It's a huge community. It's not so comfortable. People are not open. I've seen you guys mentioning about this Tinder or dating app. So what we are talking here in these two concepts and other concepts, recommendations, these are three different, very different things, and they will entice different people. So some people will say, "Oh, I would like a dating app for the anime world." The other one, "Oh, I want recommendation. Oh, I just want a place that is cozier." They are different people, and if we try to build everything, we are going to fail. It's a huge Frankenstein that we don't know where it starts, where it ends. So the idea is to get one specific hypothesis and value and problem that we feel it's relevant and that we feel we can solve in a different and valuable way. So that's when we say, okay, you know what? And Eric has made the provocation. We build this app, but we need to have many people, and it's a huge marketing campaign. Wait, we build this app for what? Let's suppose we're talking about the dating app. Okay, how is this different from what we have today? Again, we need to think because there is a cost for the user to say, all right, I'm going to just abandon what I'm using for doing that, and I'm going to learn a different thing, a different app. I'm going to invest my time. This is just going to happen if we offer them something that is different and is valuable. So when you say, Alex, dating app for the anime world, right? And the problem today is not like just dating, but you told me about harassment. You told me about women's fear. You told me about the proportion, men and women. So unless you bring me with this dating app, something that solves one or more of these problems in the dating world for anime, it's very hard to say, hey, people will jump here and start using. If you tell me, Alex, I discover a way of incentivizing women to get in the app and it's going to be a 50-50 or near that. We don't have this anywhere else in the world. So once you tell, hey, guys, girls, here I have this half and half or whatever the proportion, but I have something here that you can't find out there. Or I found a way, we develop a feature that will totally end any kind of harassment that women might suffer. Actually, we build a security mechanism that will prevent any, I'm exaggerating, any kind of danger for women. Hey, women, I have here something that will prevent you from. This is the strong hypothesis that will make people to move. But if we don't have something that is strong, something that, oh, it's a dating app for anime, and how is this going to prevent the problems that we face today? I don't know. Failure. So I'm just being a little bit hard in that point because the market will be hard. They will ask, okay, how does that help me with this and that and that? This is one of the reasons that I mentioned about talking with users, so we can understand what are the problems and the challenges that they face today with current things that they are doing in the dating world, let's suppose. And then we are going to get this problem and say, you know what, we are smart. Now it's market, leave it with us. We are going to solve the problem of our harassment, the problem of the proportion, by building this, and that. Here we have. So two things to finish my explanation, but the point is that first, we need to concentrate on something unique that they cannot find in the market for a relevant problem that they are suffering. From one specific perspective, it's not recommendations and dating and sharing and openness. It's one relevant and unique thing. Make sense? Your thoughts?
Yeah. So the main task is to really find that. Yeah. So well, basically the next steps we have now is well, we have many friends here in the team. We have Angel. He has many friends that like anime as well as I do, as well as Herbert does, as well as Dais does. So the next step is that okay, let's interview these people. Um, yeah, so we go back again with something we talked on Friday, Alexandre. So we need to review okay, how are we going to conduct these interviews and really see okay, what are the actual struggles and problems so they can actually make the shift to our app and actually use that and engage actually. um, yeah, so I think that's the next step to make interviews and gather as much data as possible and actually nail the valid proposition, a very 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 specific valid proposition. So okay, that
Yeah.
do you agree?
Just a parenthesis. Yeah, just a parenthesis. The customer interview step, or our goal, right? Our very next goal. What we would we want if we can have anything? I would say we want a very very strong hypothesis about how we can solve a problem with an effective tool, a unique tool. That means we want to have something that people find it relevant and effective for one problem that they have. That's what we want. Customer interviews, that's our goal. That's not our goal. This is a way, this is a means through which we can explore and find the problems or find some problems that we could address and have this hypothesis, this strong hypothesis. So, getting insights from customer interviews refer to strengthening the hypothesis that we want to build. We have discussed about, and Herbert has done the provocation, guys, the MVP, can't we validate? If we believe we have something or we have a strong hypothesis, that means we have thought about a specific problem that we can solve much better than the market. We can test the MVP, we can build that to start testing to check. If we still don't have it, I would consider the step of the customer interviews so we can say, you know what, we interviewed like 5, 7 to 10 people, and we recognize some patterns and some problems from the interviews. And it's quite clear that people are struggling with these 2, 3 specific aspects. So we are going to choose one aspect, 2 aspects, one problem, and we are going to build something that the market has never seen before to solve that problem. So that's the logic. And yes, I would go through the customer interviews to strengthen your hypothesis for the MVP.
Well, maybe we have already kind of discussed that within the team. So basically, we already exposed that about making a safer environment, more like open. Well, kind of open, like you can share your stuff, you know. So that's our hypothesis based on what they found and what she talked with us. So that's like our uh, value proposition, let's say. But I still think that, like you said, strengthen our hypothesis would be better because that can give us more insights that if our hypothesis is actually um, going to solve people's problems. So yeah, I also think that okay, we can go with the MVP. Let's move forward and build something. That the thing with that is that um, maybe people like it, maybe people actually don't like it, and the most how do you say, to keep people around, to keep people engaged. That's my concern. So because I have seen it, like you make the launch, you get like 100 or 1,000
Mhm.
people using the app on launch, and after 1 week you only get like 10 people using the app.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my concern. Um, the momentum is not preserved. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, I don't. Well, let's talk Herbert about the next steps. I don't know if you agree. From what I can think is that we have to pass like building the MVP and actually test that thing. The MVP, like the thing you have about the Tinder app of the anime community, or we can go with um build this. Well, we have already built kind of build the hypothesis and strengthen the hypothesis with user interviews, and then create a value proposition based on that, uh, and then actually build something. Uh, which path do you want to follow? Or because Herbert is client, so he has a last answer. Hmm. What do you think?
Yeah, for me, I'm all about going forward and building the MVP and letting that kind of validate our assumptions. And once the MVP is done, we can find ways to get a significant user base and use that as a way to validate our assumptions. and from there we can also conduct user interviews with the user base that we gain. I guess something I'm considering is like most dating apps are like based on location. So I wonder if we should like focus on like a specific set of cities or something like that, and kind of like use that as a way to get started and just like and then expand from there. But yeah, I don't know. It can be you can not tether its locations, but like getting matches from people who are kind of nearby are like kind of like the main motivation for these sorts of things. So yeah, I guess I'll open that to the team on their thoughts in that matter.
Okay. Alex, can I ask you what do you think about that pattern?
What? Sorry, it got cut. What do you think about?
What do you think about that path going there? What are the
Uh,
risks? What are the good things?
yeah.
The, mhm.
I would just again. I always recommend when in the creation process. I always recommend the customer interviews first because it can save a lot of time and it can help a lot in the direction of the development. Again, the decision of doing that before after is Herbert's call. My only point is that talking with users may reveal many things. Um, I still feel, and again, I'm talking with you about the project for just 1 hour, so you've been
Okay.
working into more discussions. Maybe I don't get all the perspective, but we started discussing. At least I got into the community of 500 people. The comments are very hostile. Dais has mentioned, so I had the understanding that we were talking about groups, but the end of the conversation refers to Tinder and dating. So uh, I go back to this point because we are simply talking about very different things that serve to different purposes. And it's important to recognize if we are going to build the MVP, you know what? The MVP, let's start right now. Okay. So let's outline and define the components of our hypothesis quite well. What I mean is that if you tell me, Alex, it's Tinder for anime, okay, what's the problem with Tinder and other solutions? Again, I go back to the same kind of questions that I did, but this is the question because people will do that. You are asking, hey, join the Tinder for anime. Okay, I'm using Tinder. Why would I like anime, but why would I constrain myself to just anime people? Because I can use Tinder. I can find anime people there. And do you mean that anime members, community members, they just relate with people, or they will prefer just relating with people from the anime community? That's the assumption. That's the assumption that is underlying our MVP, our app. So if you tell me, I'm not sure, maybe, probably, or not at all, or some people will prefer just anime, some people won't. Um, so you're just constraining your market too much. Like, oh, this app is for people who like anime or is part of anime community and want to date someone who is just from the anime community. Okay, maybe. And I didn't talk with users, or I didn't talk with potential customers, but maybe this is true. Like Alex, they are very closed, or in terms of introspective. And the hypothesis that if we build a Tinder just for this community, they would love because they don't like or they trust more people inside the community than other parts. Um, there are other things, and Herbert has pointed perfectly about location. So when you constrain just anime people who want anime people from a specific location. So it's important that we start considering how many people there will be in this location that only wants to relate with anime community members. Maybe I didn't get all the points right, but I'm just saying that this exercise, even before launching the MVP, needs to be considered. I'm tackling this problem, dating. Forget about sharing or any other thing. Dating. Okay, let's compare with current alternatives. Let's understand what you're bringing new to the market, and let's understand how big your market really is in terms of your current value proposition. That's an example, if it makes sense.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And I personally feel like especially with dating apps, like having the right niche is really important. And the anime niche is considerably large considering how popular it is today. So I think that should be okay. Um, Perhaps maybe until we get a larger user base, I would like forego. I mean, I will show how the distance, like the miles between your matches and people you see on the feed, but I wouldn't really allow for like, oh, I only want to meet people who are like 30 miles away or 25 miles away, which is like pretty common. So yeah, I feel like each dating app kind of has like a use case. Like for Tinder, I feel like 80% of people use it are more for like, uh, like meetups or just like kind of just like a quick thing, you know. And then you have other apps like Bumble, which are more for like, okay, I want a serious relationship. But I don't think there's any app right now that really caters to our niche. You know, there are a few websites and such, but yeah. But yeah, that's just something I'd be interested in learning myself. Like how many people in this location will use it, and just how big is the niche. And my assumption right now is that it's still pretty considerable size, just judging off the amount of people who go to things like anime conventions, judging off the amount of people in these Discord groups or Facebook groups and Reddit communities. So yeah, that's my insight on that matter.
Yeah, just one last point, which is definitely related to the location. So to prevent spending a ton of money or this billionaire marketing budget we discussed before, it would be important to consider the place or places or launching the app in places that you would have the most successful on. Like just exaggerating here, but it's very different from launching the app in a very populated area of a big city and in a rural area. Just exaggerating, because if you don't have success in this very populated and this very concentrated place for anime community fans, you're not going to get this success from other places. So when you're envisioning, okay, let's develop the app, it's a dating app that is dependable on the location. Okay, I would find places that are concentrated and in which we would find the biggest concentration of people from that community. So
Sure.
this is something that can really, really change like the idea, and probably you need to. It's going to be like you need to develop some bubbles. Like you're not going to develop homogeneously. Oh, okay, from this city it's going to spread beautifully. The anime community will have some gaps, so you're going to find a lot of concentration here and there and there. So first you start testing in a populated area. Oh, it worked. Then we can consider launching in other populated areas as well. Make sense?
Yeah, I agree. Like cities like New York or like San Francisco would be like ideal places to kind of like test the assumption, widely populated, and will definitely have a significant portion of the population be interested in this sort of thing. So I definitely agree with that.
Exactly, and you can focus a lot your marketing budget. Like you can get that location, just that location. Let's be super or laser focused in one location. Did it work? Yes, amazing. It didn't work. Okay, so we need to iterate or pivot.
Right. Totally agree.
All
So,
right.
guys, anything else you would like to address today, or would you like to maybe meet again? Eric, you know that we can schedule, we can discuss, can increase or expand the discussion
Uh,
if you want to.
well, I think that we need to discuss like well, what something that I like to do is like to project in the future. Like, okay, we follow this path. This could be the budget for this path. If we follow this other path, this could be the budget, and like you know, measure risks. Well, kind of predict risks. Just that that one task is something that we have to do, and yeah, discuss that later with you, Herbert, on Wednesday.
Yeah,
And yeah, we after that we might schedule another call, another meeting, Alexander or not, but depending on what we think. But I yeah, and just on hold. All right, I think. But
Sure.
thank you a lot. Like it's really insightful.
yeah, it's definitely been a productive conversation.
Awesome.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for the time. Nice to meet you, Herbert. And again, Eric knows the channel is always open for conversation, so feel free to reach me at any time.
Hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So, do you have Alexander WhatsApp, Herbert? So you can do any questions there.
Yeah, I have WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can share you Alexander WhatsApp then. All right,
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you
So,
guys.
okay, thank you so much. Have a great week,
Thank you.
all of you.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
Bye,
You too, Alex.
Thank,
Alexander.
thank you. See you.
Thank
Bye,
you. Thank
Herbert.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.